Hey guys, welcome to another New World video. In today's video I want to talk about making coin in New World, but not quite the same way that we usually do. I've been experiencing more and more people frustrated, upset, and ready to give up when it comes to making coin in New World, and I wanted to talk about it. In this video I won't be offering any get-rich-quick schemes or anything like that. What I want to talk about is more the foundations. How you can make coin consistently, long-term, and put yourself in a position to later then utilize more lucrative methods that we tend to post in videos. So let's just get into it. So first, I want to address one major point. One thing you will always see on YouTube is videos covering the trendy big ways to make coin or gold in any game. These do work, but they only work for a very short period of time, and almost always require you have a decent amount of coin in order to make it work. So if you are a newer player, you're going to find these techniques frustrating and ultimately end up feeling defeated. So in this video, we won't be doing that. What I want to talk about here is how can a newer player step into a game like New World and get started. How can they consistently make coin, build up their wealth, and put themselves in a position to be able to play the market and the other big money making games people talk about in videos, without it being some silly gimmick? Well, basically, believe it or not, it isn't random. There are very clear steps involved, and those who have played MMOs for many years tend to know them. Some even without really understanding that they do. It becomes almost like instinct or reflex. So what I will attempt to do is break it down into steps in an easier to digest sort of way. So someone who is completely new to it might be able to start to make sense of it and enjoy it for themselves. So the first thing you want to do, and this is probably the most important thing, and it will be involved in every calculation you make in the future, and it is to determine your value potential. In an MMO, players value things based on two things. Supply versus demand, for example, is the item rare and do people want it? And the second is time. The problem with time as a measure of value though, is that many players don't understand it completely. When valuing time, you have to self-reflect. The value of your time will not be the same as the value of someone else's. You may be a more experienced player, or they may know a secret farming spot. There are many variables involved. So the first thing you need to do is look at the items that are on your server that have a stable market value, are consumed constantly, and then you take your first steps into valuing your time. Some examples of these things in New World are iron ore, rawhide, fiber, stone, hyssop. You see common easy to farm items that may not provide huge value, but 100% always sell fast and are easy to farm. And the most important thing, they do not see huge market fluctuations based on a day-to-day event. All of these items stay fairly stable in their values, and that's also important. Once you've figured this out, take a day and plan to spend some time playing. This can be done over multiple days, but is an important step. Spend 1 hour hard farming rawhide. Find a spot you like, use the New World resource map if you want, whatever. But do it seriously. Don't screw around. Try to perform and farm as much as you possibly can. Then sell it and record how much you made. Now do the same with fiber, stone, greenwood. 1 hour of each and record. Now look at the totals. This will then tell you, at your current knowledge level and playability, what 1 hour of your personal time is worth. This is not something that is a good or a bad thing. It's just simply a tool to measure. Over time this will likely go up, but it is important to know moving forward. For players this can range anywhere between 4K and 10K. It won't be the same for everyone. Now that you know this number, you can begin to make better choices when it comes to using the market, because what the market is essentially is trading your time for someone else's. And far too often, more experienced players will take advantage of newer players and flat out rip them off in terms of time exchange. For example, once you know your personal hour time value, you can then look at the market, and say you are wanting to do something that will require you to have 2,000 stone. If this will cost you what would equate to 10k coin per hour, go farm it for yourself. And on the flip side, if stone prices drop because someone posts a video that farming stone will make you rich, buy it and spend your time farming rawhide or something else that will make you farm more coin. The point here is simply be aware of how much of something you can farm per hour, then make informed decisions on what you should be spending your time farming and what you should be spending your coin buying. This brings us to the second important tip, high value items. There are items that cost 16k or more, like trophy artifacts for example. You see, many people here will experience the impulse to farm these, because you will convince yourself that this is a great moneymaker, or it is way too expensive and there is no way you're buying it. But this is always a time trap. Again, you're not giving your time the value it is worth, and I'll explain further. So let's say you can make 6,000 coin per hour consistently farming rawhide, which is a very low estimate. But let's just say the person is very new and it's the best they can do for now, and you very badly want to get your first luck trophy. This will cost you around 50k coin average. So you think, no way I can ever afford that. So you start doing chest runs. day in, day out, farming for the stacked deck and the loaded dice. And you may very well get them at some point, weeks later. Now, had you spent just 8 hours farming that rawhide, you would have the coin to buy it, and you could move on. You see, you have to consider this. Sometimes buying is much better than farming. The reality is sometimes you're better off doing something silly like skinning crocodiles than spending 2 weeks farming it. Another very important thing is to be aware of every way the game gives you coin for free per day, because there are many. Let's have a look at these. So each day you will have faction missions, and 3 of them will be bonus. Always choose PvE when coin is your objective. They simply pay more. So you'll receive roughly 255 coin per bonus per day, for a total of 765 coin. And then there's your cooldowns. Always do your cooldowns. Each day you'll craft 10 to 14 Asmodeum, offering you 2,500 to 3,500 coin. 10 to 14 Phoenix Weave, offering you 1,500 to 2,100 coin. You'll craft 10 to 14 Runic Leather, offering you 2,000 to 2,800 coin per day. And Runestones, again 10 to 14, offering you 1,500 to 2,100 coin per day. And Glittering Ebony, again you'll craft 10 to 14, offering you 1,350 to 1,820 per day. You'll also receive 2 bags of gold upon completion of any instance or closing a portal. These also include the level 25 portals, so do those, and you'll get an additional 500 coin from the bags. And then there's the coin from events like presents, the bags at Thanksgiving, or the ones for collecting anything using a tool, any of the things that give diamond gypsum. For these you'll receive 300 coin. So you see 10,415 coins on the low end per day for simply logging in and doing the bare minimum of tasks. This all can be completed in under a half an hour. And now with Brimstone you also have the glyph chests. You should be doing these every day. They are easy and can be done solo for the most part if you skip the ones in elite zones and stop at all of the chests in the acid pools as well. This will yield an average of 1.5 scarabs per day and takes roughly only 1 hour per day to complete. Some days you won't get any scarabs of course, but some you will get 3 or even 4, so I'm simply averaging out the days. So that's another 4,500 coin average per day. So we're up to 14,950 coins for playing the game for about 1.5 hours per day. And you haven't even farmed yet, and you haven't interacted with the market yet, and that's per day. So let's say you did nothing else at all. Just logged in for 2 hours per day and did your dailies as it were and logged out. You should be making 107,450 coins per week for doing nothing. So you see, this is where I struggle to understand the posts where people say, I've been farming like crazy, I just can't make coin. I try every YouTuber idea and I can't. I'm stuck at 8,000 coin. You see, coin in a game, like in real life, requires effort. And these things I listed are not maybes or RNG. These are 100% guaranteed by the game every single day. So if you are doing them, then you're either spending the coin in silly ways or, well, you're just not doing them. Selling your cooldowns is a waste and people are farming you for gold. So if that's what you're doing, stop it. It takes almost no time to farm the amount of mats needed to do your daily cooldowns. So taking this into consideration, and let's say you don't have a ton of time to play because the common complaint is that the game is designed in such a way that an average player who logs in on weekends and maybe only a few hours per evening has no chance at all ever of having gold. So you do all of your dailies and you only have about 2 hours left to play, making your grand total 3.5 hours a night. And you're primarily a solo player who doesn't get to go to wars, isn't part of a company that owns a settlement, nothing like that. You're super casual, because again, that's a common complaint on the forums. So what to do? Let's say you take 1 hour to farm something. So for this example, I will say hides again. And you're not a huge meta farmer, so you do it pretty casually while watching Netflix or something, and you manage to get 7.5k iron hide, a very easy amount to farm. And while doing so, let's say 35 scar hide and 46 smolder hide. Nothing crazy because you don't have all the luck gear. I am lowballing here, just for argument's sake. So you head to the market and sell your iron hide for 0.62 per, because you decide to fill buy orders instead of waiting. So that's about 4,500 coin. And you sell your scar hide for 11 coin per again, a super low amount, filling buy orders. That's 385 coin. And your smolder hide for the same, so that's another 506 coin. We won't talk about the meat and stuff because then it will get too complicated, but you'll also receive those. So for your little farming session of 1 hour, you managed a total of 5,391 coin. And then you end up feeling crappy because that doesn't seem like a whole lot. But again, let's look at it over a week. Let's say you never have a ton of time, so this is about the best you can do per day farming various things to keep it fresh. Fibers one day, skinning the next, charcoal the next, you get the idea. So that's roughly 37,737 coin per week from farming. So now we add that to our guaranteed coin we get for doing our 1.5 hour per day dailies. So as a super casual playing roughly 3 hours per day, you're now making 145,187 coin per week. You see, it isn't that you can't make the coin in game to buy BIS gear and compete, it's that you're choosing not to. And will the super sweats get it faster because they make more coin? Of course they will. Is this fair? Absolutely it is. If you think it isn't, you're again being a bit silly. That's like saying if I go to work for 3 hours and Jim goes for 16, it isn't fair that he makes more money than I do, because I have kids and Jim doesn't, so he has more time. It just is what it is. So the fact that the super casuals have the ability to make CoinCap Plus in less than a month, playing 3 hours a day, says that you could, if it was important to you, get one piece of best in slot PvP gear per month. That's actually not a bad time frame. In other MMOs, if you're that casual, your chances of getting best in slot PvP pieces is 0. Simple as that. Now that you understand how to casually produce huge amounts of coin, how can you flip it and play the market like the big boys and become a millionaire? Well, to be honest, this is the easy part. Getting your seed money was the biggest hurdle. All it takes to play the market is game knowledge. As I've said in previous videos, utilizing tools like the PTR, being aware of incoming changes to the game, reading the forums, understanding the perks that are getting buffed or nerfed, new materials being added to recipes or removed, anything. These small changes will allow you to predict price changes, then make you massive profits by buying at the market and flipping it back. So in closing, knowing some amazing game-breaking trick to get rich is not what you need. If you want to be rich, do your daily faction missions, do a couple of level 25 portals, get your diamond gypsum bags, use your cooldowns for yourself and don't sell them, and understand how refining works. And most importantly, do not spend your coin on foolish items. 2 perk entrance level gear, don't buy it unless it's very cheap. Gear to buy power while leveling expertise, don't buy it. There are hundreds of items that drop 590 in the world from named creatures you can solo. These won't squish, these cost nothing but time, and you will have more coin in the end. You should have this gear before you start worrying about coin in the first place. Anyway guys, I hope this helps, because the rhetoric lately that it's impossible to make more than 10k coin after weeks of playing is simply untrue. And if you're in that position, you simply are just not doing the dailies available to every player I just listed. Okay guys, if you have any other questions regarding coin making, or anything really, please feel free to message, leave them in the comments, or join our community Discord. And as always guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.